darlings, welcome to Tammy and Bert's Utopia. This week I want to talk about, is your mental health an excuse to act badly? Is your mental health an excuse to be irrational? Is your mental health something that you can just turn off? That's what we're going to talk about this week. I'm going to give you 3 ways to conquer those negativities about mental health. 3 ways that have helped me. So stay tuned, watch to the end, and come along for the ride. Thank you for coming. Hello darlings, it's so nice to have your company today. I hope you have a cuppa and are enjoying a coffee or a tea or a Milo or a chocolate with honey like my sister loves to have. And we have our little chat here today about mental health. And I hope you're well, wherever you are in the world. And I hope you've had a good week. I've had a good week. I went to the hairdresser, which I find is extremely stressful. But I went on Simone's recommendation because he's actually a hairdresser that does her hair. And I went along to see John, and I didn't have an anxiety and panic attack, and I didn't have an earring cut off, and it was just really relaxing. And it's actually one of the first times I've ever had a man style my hair. He was just wonderful. So he's cut it into a style and it should grow quite nicely, but he says it will take 8 weeks for it to start that he can get to the shape that I want. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about this week was, is mental health an excuse to act badly? Do you blame it on your mental health if you do something that isn't right and you say, oh well, I'm not right mentally, I can't help myself. I made it in an irrational moment and I wasn't thinking clearly. Or you say something and then forever after you are regretting what you said because it was the wrong thing to say at the time. And you realise that now, but at the time you didn't. You just said it off the top of your head. Well, I have a lot of moments like that. And my eldest daughter has pulled me up on a fact and said, Mum, these things are bad behaviour. They are not due to curses. They are not due to things of 3 to 4 generations. They are bad behaviour. And it made me think, is that the truth? Do you hide behind your mental illness in a way that you can't express yourself because people will say, oh, she's nutty. Oh, don't listen to a word she says. She's as nutty as a fruitcake. Oh, she's 3 bricks short of a Barbie, that one. You know, do you sort of blend back into the corner because you're just too frightened to say anything? Well, I have to say that is me. I try not to say things most of the time, and when I do, I always put my foot in it. Like I've put my foot in it by saying something to a dear family member, and I've not spoken to her in person for 4 months now. This is my punishment time. So I'm being punished for what I said. So you have to weigh up. You're a mum, and you should be able to speak your mind to your child. But then when your child is an adult, they don't view it like that. They view it that you are irrational, that you are just being nutty, that you're saying the wrong thing. So it gets you into a lot of trouble. So in this past 4 months, I have been trying to work out in my mind what I can do so that this doesn't happen to me again. And I've come up with 3 things. The first thing that I do now, when it comes to anything to do with the children, is I talk to my darling husband, Bert. Number 1, you have to talk to your best supporter. And it's always your husband or your closest friend. Maybe you're lucky enough to have a closest child. I have that with Simone. Simone and I can talk about anything and everything and there's no blushing and no embarrassment, and we just chat away, and she never takes offence. So we understand each other on a different level to that I have with my eldest daughter, which is a real shame, but I can't fix that. It has to come a bit from both ways. Excuse me. Don't forget your cuppa. This cup my darling sister gave to me, and it says, "Sisters forever, never apart. Maybe in distance, but never at heart." Isn't that beautiful? And there's a little picture of Debbie and I sitting out the front there. But mind you, Debbie's the one with the long blonde hair, not I. I've got the short hair, but she's got beautiful long hair and has always had it. Hi Deb, hi Al, I hope you're enjoying the States, Alan, and enjoying time with your beautiful grandchildren over there, and enjoying time with your gorgeous wife. So I hope that's all going well. Anyway, so the first thing I do is I talk to Bert and I say, what do you think about this? And what should we do about that? And do I do this? And do I do that? And I journal every day, and I'll write little notes down in that will help me, and I can look back and check it out. So I do that. First, number one is talk to your partner. Your partner's the most important person in your life, and you have to be on the same wave level as they are. Number two, journal. Write it down what you've done. Write down what you think you've said wrong. Write down how could you have fixed it. And then at the bottom of all of that, you write down, forgive myself. Because there is nothing you can do. Words are like arrows thrown out there, and who they land on, you cannot take it back. And unfortunately, that's one of the things that does happen. And text messaging is absolutely, I think because you don't have the tone in your voice with a text message, that people can take them the wrong way. So it's very, very easy to offend with a text message. Think about that. Always think about it. So that's number two, journal. Number three, avoid the situation that will put you in that in the first place. So you're attending a family gathering. Example, there are people everywhere. And you know that you're not going to be able to cope with all of this because, one, you can only focus on one person at the moment at a time, and you might have little ones there that want your attention, and they're the easy ones to get onto. I always find that I'm happiest at a big family gathering if I'm with my grandchildren and talking to my grandchildren. I don't necessarily talk to the adults, but I mingle with my grandchildren, and I find I'm very comfortable with that. Are you comfortable with that, Sondra? I know that you've got a granddaughter that you love just so much. Charlotte, I think her name is. Let me know in the comments if I've got the name right. I got you mixed up with somebody else, and thought it was your grandmother, but that was Courtney and not Sondra. I'm so sorry. But I talk to the children and try to do that. But now, basically, my family knows that I can't do big family functions with other people, because I don't want to embarrass anybody, especially myself, and I don't want to upset anybody, especially my children. So I go at different times. So that's one thing that you can do. Find out when the busiest time is when you're going to go to a function, and say, can I come earlier, or can I come later, or can I come another day? Why does a function have to be on the one day? My granddaughter recently had a birthday, and Kai's birthdays usually go over 3 to 4 days. And her birthday was exhausting for her parents, because when I got to see them on the Saturday, the Sunday afternoon, they were so tired because they'd been having a birthday party since Friday. They had to set up all the tents for the sleepover. And then the Saturday night they had the sleepover, and then the Sunday morning they had the breakfast after the sleepover, and then the Sunday afternoon Mum and Dad pop around, and in between this the other family is still coming and visiting and helping out as much as they can. And you know, it's very tiring for them. and her birthday's not even till the Monday. That's her actual birthday. So they've had 3 solid days of birthdays, of doing her birthday. And they were exhausted. And you have to think about, is it worth it? You need to look after yourself. And the thing is, when you've got mental health, you get used to looking after yourself after a while, and you avoid your triggers. You avoid stressful situations. You do not want to be put in that situation. So you avoid it. And that's how you can cope with it. So I hope these 3 strategies will help you, which is number 1, talking to the person you're closest with, which for me it's Bert or Simone. And number 2, journaling, writing down what has upset you and what you've done to upset anybody, or something that you've thought of and you've overthought. That happens a lot. You overthink things and it gets worse in your mind. And then before you know it, it's a full-out worry. So yes, avoid those situations, journal it down so that then you can avoid the situations and the triggering things that happen. If you do this, you'll find that it helps you not to be quite so irrational, not to be quite so unpredictable. Because I must admit, in my later years, in my freedom years, as Sandra Hart calls them, thank you Sandra, Sandra, that is a wonderful way of calling getting older, freedom years. Well, I do think more of myself than I used to, and I don't put myself out as much as I used to. I like it if people can come to me more than I chase them, because I've done a lot of chasing in my years, and now I figure my family, my friends, they know where I am. They know how to contact me and get in touch with me, and I wait for them to do it more now than what I used to, because they're so busy they don't have time to think about me. So that is what's happening. So for us this week, what's happened here is basically Bert has worked every day out on Richard's big house that he's building, giving Richard a hand, and that's coming along. I think that handover will be probably the end of next month, which is earlier than expected, which will be wonderful for Richard to have that done. Millie is doing really well on her medications. She's still trotting around and enjoying her walks in the doggy pram with her ears flapping in the wind, and having a little walk along the side every so often and a sniff on the grass, and then back in the doggy pram. So she's really enjoying that. We've had a very normal week. I can't believe it's already Wednesday and this goes out on Friday, and I thought I hadn't done a video. The week has just gone, but I can't tell you where it's gone, because what are we doing every day? We're living the best life that we can have. So I hope you have a good week, and I hope that I've helped you. Please leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe my video if you think that they're any good, and I hope that it helps you a little bit. I'm not a doctor. I've just had mental health problems all my life without knowing it until I was officially diagnosed last year. So thank you very much for watching. Lots and lots of love from Ballarat, from Tammy and Bert. Bye for now.